In the last screencast, I showed you how to make the scoreboard class to put text on the screen. In this screencast, I'll show you how to use static integers to keep score. You could also use methods to keep score. So if you want to use methods, watch my other screencast. To use integers to keep score, we're going to put some static integers in the ball class to keep track of who has what points. So what we want to have happen is when the ball goes past the paddle and it hits the bottom of the screen, we need to give the computer some points. So we'll go to the ball class, and at the very top of our program, we need to create a public static integer, and we're going to call it C-score, which stands for computer score. We also want the computer to start off with 0 points, so we're going to put equals 0. Now, we need to find the code where the ball hits the bottom of the screen and then goes back to the middle, so I'm pretty sure that's called reset. And right here we say if the ball hits the bottom of the screen, put it back in the middle. When it hits the bottom of the screen, the computer should get a point, so we say C-score equals C-score plus 1. So we're giving them a point. And we press compile and we make sure we have no mistakes. And actually, we do have mistakes. These need to be capital S's. Now, that's great. And if we press run and I actually miss the ball here and I press pause and I inspect the ball class, I can show my static fields. And if you look right here, my C-score is 1. So the computer has scored 1 point. Now I need to get that to show up on the screen over here. The scoreboard's in the world, so I'm going to go into the world. And what I need to do is I need to tell my scoreboard right here to update all the time. In Greenfoot, when we want things to update or do things all the time, we usually put code in the act method. The world doesn't have an act method, so we have to add one. So we're going to write public void act, and we're going to tell my scoreboard to update. Now in the last screencast about the scoreboard, we gave it a method called update right here, so I just need to call that. So I can do that in the world. I'm back in the world again. I can do that by telling my scoreboard here, my scoreboard, to update by saying .update. Then in parentheses and quotes, just like we did up here, I want it to say computer score. So I'm going to come back down here and I'm going to say computer score. And then I want to put the number next to these words. So to do that, I'm going to put a plus sign. And then because it is a static integer in the ball class, I'm going to write capital B ball dot C-score. And notice that is not in quotes here. When I press compile, you're not going to see the 0 show up right away because the game's not running. But once I press run, the 0 shows up on my scoreboard, and if I miss the ball, you can see it says 1 right there. So now that's how I can use static integers to keep score. If you're going to implement this into the rest of your game, you're going to have to go to the ball class. You're going to have to add another static integer, probably for the human. You're going to have to find the reset method and add a place and find where the ball goes off the top of the screen and add to the human score. And then you're going to have to go to your world, and you can either add more text to the end of this by using another plus sign here, or you have to make another scoreboard, add it to the world, and update it down here.